Hi, and welcome back, and Happy New Year. I normally don't partake in the holidays due to personal reasons, um, but most of you guys do, so Happy New Year. Alright, I just wanted to share with you guys how in the past I felt misunderstood, and how now I see that as my blessing, as my way to catapult myself and empower myself through my quirkiness, if you will, or my weirdness, something I've been ashamed or not proud of in the past because I held myself by other people's opinions and fear of or their judgments. But now I want to share with you a little bit about how I perceive it now and how how I'm making it work for me opposed to it holding me back. So my whole life I felt misunderstood. Therefore, I developed a desire to be understood, which in turn made me foolishly needy. The need for people to like me, forcing attachments with people, and feeding my fear of being alone because ultimately, who wants to be alone? I was terrified of being alone. The fear of being alone, the fear of not finding someone who would understand me, that would love me the way I needed or wanted. So that all in itself wrapped up in the need for me to be a people pleaser. And that's not very conducive behavior for a person who's wanting to be empowered and be connected to who you truly are, which is an extension of God, source universe. So there's that. Now that I have the understanding of myself, I have the ability to detach from those who do not serve me, detach from those who do not serve my growth, be it physical, mental, or spiritual, in any of those aspects of my life. If somebody's like a negative, has negative, a negative influence that I see derails me from where I want to be in life, is someone who's gonna be cut off in a way, but because they're cut off doesn't necessarily mean I stop loving them. I love them enough to let them go on their own journey, and I love myself enough to continue on my own journey. Um, so always feeling like I didn't fit into this world more so than others made me want to understand myself, which is why I am fascinated by how the mind works. I just love learning about the cerebral cortexes that function different parts of our bodies, that with one being damaged, it doesn't necessarily affect the whole brain. It just affects that one aspect of the body. And it's just fascinating learning about it for me. And I never felt like I fit in because I was always more nurturing, always more. I have a stronger feminine energy, which is nurturing and caring, and wants to help people grow and be the best parts of themselves. So through that, being a guy, you get kind of like ostracized for it because you're not the strong individual that the man should be in. So since understanding energy as of last year and the knowledge and my own understanding of it has really empowered me to be who I feel, who I've always felt, but was too scared to be. And that has brought me closer to a relationship with God that anything else has in the past. Religion didn't really do it for me. Church didn't do it for me. It got me it got me to a point, but it didn't get me as close as I feel now, because I decided to understand the world in my own terms, in my own way, without the influence of church or religion or anybody else that has their own way of living. And I just decided to do it on my own. So about 2008, 14 years ago, I started to look into human behavior and psychology. So I've been building up myself with that. Before I used it to try and understand other people, to look within myself to see how I started analyzing everything that I learned with psychology and behavioral. I started to apply it within myself. I started to see my own actions and how my own actions dictated hidden behaviors and fears and traumas that were within myself, to be able to understand myself more, if that made sense. So I stopped projecting it onto other people and started applying it within myself. So when somebody would piss me off, I would reflect on why am I letting this person piss me off, and so on and so forth. That's how I kind of started to build myself up. And sure, I hit a point understanding I am energy, and understanding how energy works. My life has since then made more sense than it did before, and gave me the clarity that I have now to understand and love unconditionally. I'm at the point in my life where I love and understand myself. In doing so, I acknowledge and embrace that no one will fully ever understand me, and that is okay, because I understand myself. And understand people's opinions and criticism is just a perspective of how they see life. I do not have to apply what does not work for me without me feeling guilty of not taking their advice at 100. I take bits and parts that will work for me now, but because it's my life, I'm just going to apply what works for me at the moment to get me through, to help me see it differently. To understanding what works for me has been a great blessing. I will be misunderstood, especially when I tap into my shadow self. What I mean by that is I tend to give myself a different perspective when I'm in my high vibrational happy self, opposed to when I'm in my darkness, my inner darkness, the aspects of ourselves that we're ashamed of. I'm not ashamed of anything within myself anymore, because I use it as a sounding board to give myself advice on how to perceive and how to live my life accordingly, because ultimately it's my life. So who better to give you advice about your life than yourself? In this case, it's my darker self that has in the past caused so much pain and misery, but now I'm using it to restrain myself from acting like I did in the past, not to harm others in a way. I know my thoughts and feelings, and I trust all interactions are meant for me to learn from. So we tend to want to give up on ourselves because we feel no one understands what we truly are or desire. But in understanding yourself, you get rid of that need for validation, for love, for having attachment to people. So I encourage you to take time, and meditation for me helps a lot. It helps me clear my mind to allow God to give me some messages that I could not think of at the moment. He always comes through with little ideas, little insights that, oh, I could have done this way, or blah, blah, blah. If not, well, thanks for watching, and I appreciate the 2 new subscribers that I got. Thank you. I appreciate you, and sending you guys love, light, and prosperity and strength to move forward on your own journey and stay strong. All right, take care. Bye.